While the University of Cape Town's Office of Inclusivity and Change is handing over its petition against gender-based violence to the Presidency today, it has facilitated thousands of written letters to be taken to Parliament. These urge Parliament to eliminate violence against and the exploitation of women and girls. So to tell us more about this is Dr Sianne Alves from the University of Cape Town. Thank you so much, Dr Sianne, for joining us this evening. I mean, it certainly is a continuous conversation that must be held in the South African context, unfortunately, about how yet another life has fallen prey to gender-based violence and how it will not stop until there's practical, tangible change. Did you receive the desired outcome today from government? Do you think that they're coming to the party and listening to the pleas?
Absolutely, and good evening to the viewers. We were really pleased to be received by the Minister of Women, Youth and Persons with Disabilities this afternoon, together with the Post Office to Parliament task team and the Uyeyene Meritwana Foundation. The Minister was very specific that we would be receiving the National Council for Gender-Based Violence by December 2021. And that for us was a significant step in the conversation towards the fight against gender-based violence.
Yeah, but it appears as though every time there's this, instance where we either have to lose another life, any other young woman to gender-based violence, or as we've seen right now with Noscelo, we've got another grieving family losing yet another young person. Then we get all of these reactions as well as all of these promises. But promises without delivery is absolutely nothing. In fact, it's a lie. So in this case, what was to be done by UCT to ensure that the government is being held accountable and that by the end of this year, indeed, we do see this council actually come to fruition?
Sure, exactly that. We added our voice behind the petition to Parliament, facilitating letters and postcards from our students across campus, from our staff across campus, attaching it to the petition and saying, government, enough is enough. It's beyond statistics, beyond education. We want a realizable progress and action against the fight against gender-based violence. And one specific outcome that we need is this council in place. And why we need this council is because we do need this council to be a monitoring and evaluation body for a number of things, such as monitoring the specialized courts to ensure that there's no case backlog, to understand why there is a backlog in the first place and to address it expeditiously. And then secondly, in order to ensure that there's proper resourcing and capacitation within the South African police services so that when our survivors reach out for help, there is a sensitive, empathic, respectful, as well as effective service at the end of that phone call so that the survivor receives the support that they need immediately. We also know that the council needs to step in and ensure that our places of shelter and care, of refuge for women, children, and our queer folk in society have a place to go. It was shocking to know that by April 2020, during lockdown, our places of shelter were already at capacity. They were completely saturated. So this is quite telling. Council has a large agenda in front of them, and we need it in place in order to ensure that that national action plan becomes effective.
Yeah, but then when you're looking at it also, Dr. Sianne, how then, in your opinion, do we formulate an inclusive response to gender-based violence? By inclusive, I mean including the man, including the young man, including the boy child in this conversation, so it does not become yet another reaction or another response or another call from just women in society who to a large extent are the victims, but then it becomes boys and girls, men and women against gender-based violence.
That's a fantastic point. And indeed, the conversations begin within our own homes, around our dinner tables, about what gender-based violence means. And we need to be calling upon religious institutions, schools, community organizations, and we need to be working holistically because we do need to be engaging with our boy child, with our men, with our partners in our lives so that everybody begins to understand what their role is in standing up and with survivors in this country. The behavioral change programs, they are out there. They are evidence-based models for change. We have the leading experts in South Africa at our disposal to share their expertise and help craft behavioral change programs for male allies, for men in society. And again, I have to come back to the council. We need a coordinated response where council draws upon this expertise in order to ensure that these evidence-based programs are rolled out within our communities.
Dr. Sianne Alves, we'll leave it there for this evening. Thank you so much for your time.